Good morning. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. Hope you're all doing well. It's Thursday, right? No. Yeah, Thursday. Ooh, it's Thursday. And this is the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show where we talk about Agile and Scrum in a tactical and practical way and talk about things hopefully people can use to get home to their family and friends so they can have fun and enjoy their time or go off and do some entrepreneur activities or whatever they have off to the side they'd like to do besides just working and a balanced working life. I mean, if you can also use this for your own business if you really want to do. I got a lot of my work done because we take lean concepts and talk about that too. And there's a cat. And to grow your business, right? Help your business grow and have some fun along the way. And the idea is, it's a new year. Hopefully we're not spending 60, 80 hours a week trying to get code out the door, right? We want to find better ways of doing it. And I think Scrum and thinking Agile will help get there and help you improve your productivity. And I got lots of questions people ask, new Scrum Masters, old Scrum Masters, people that are Agile coaches, and they send me stuff. So please keep sending me comments. I love them because it makes me think about a topic, talk about something, whether you find something critical about what I have on my post. It's awesome because then it makes me wonder, okay, did I write something wrong? Did I do something wrong? And I love that feedback. It's kind of like the sprint review, right? In Scrum, where I appreciate the feedback. I don't get everything, right? I don't catch everything. It's not, not perfect. But you know what? It makes me think about it. It says, I really want to say that. And let me think about that. Is that what that meant? Because everybody's different and everybody interprets things differently. So talk about two things today. We're going to talk about product owner a little bit, and we're going to talk about tasking. Sometimes I bring stuff in and I twist it from what I have in office so that none of the players or anybody I do or it points to any particular company, just a concept and why and where, and then hopefully it'll help you out or give you debate, right? Or ask you questions. So this morning, I said the other day, I said, I showed my grandmother's high school diploma, right? It was a pretty big document, right? I told you all that I was going to share my great grandmother's high school. I think it's a high school document. I haven't quite figured out. It doesn't really say high school, but I'll share that with you. And it's ginormous, right? I have to get a picture. I'll have to do a Instagram picture with my great grandmother's diploma, my grandmother's diploma, and my master's degree diploma next to each other. Big giant high school diploma and then my little tiny master's degree diploma. It makes you wonder. You spend more money on it and get a smaller piece of paper. We killed all the trees in time. So I'm going to show you this. I put it up on the intro for the graphic. This thing is ginormous. It's got a giant. I got a reflection from the lighting, which doesn't help any, right? So this one right here is from my grandmother, Mary Catherine Aid. And it's a diploma from, she got the Institute of Notre Dame, Baltimore City, Maryland. She completed the prescribed course in the Department of Art and Design and at said institute and is awarded this diploma. Testimony where a witness in 1897. This document is 123 years old. But this is 1820. This is 1897. So this is not 1900s. So, other people go look for stuff that's whatever value or whatever. I try to grab things that are, like, tell me about my history and where I've been and where I come from. If you get lucky enough to do it, I always try to grab those little things. I know when my grandparents passed and they were cleaning out the farmhouse, that was the one thing I saw. I said, can I have that? When I do family tree stuff, but I also like to know stuff like that. A woman in 1897, I'm assuming that's kind of equivalent to high school. They may not have had high school back then, just had little institutes that give you little degrees. Apparently, maybe that's where my daughter gets her drawing skills from. You never know. right? So I think it's pretty awesome. 123-year-old document showing that women, even back then, that would be the second well, before she met my great grandfather, who was a second generation immigrant, um, born to the States in 1800s. But her family had been here a while. And the eight family is another family side of the tree that if I were to, has another, I think we're all renegades, right? Anyway, at least buck the norms. So I want to share that with you just because it's just neat, and it just shows that women, over time, I mean, there's nothing you can't do. If you ever think as a woman or a minority or anybody on this planet, I really don't care if it's a diversity issue. Anyone, if you can't do something, I think you can. I think you use Scrum and Agile to help you get there quicker and more manageably, right? So with that, I'm going to talk about product owner, and then I'm going to talk about tasking. So I was watching a video on LinkedIn from Lizzy Morris, so one of my connections, and she was talking about product owner, and I totally agree with her. Too many people get put in the role of product owner, and it's not thought out well. It's a new year, right? And if you're a Scrum Master or something like that, and you got your CSM, I actually did it differently. I learned about Scrum from a little organization a long time ago, and because I just wanted to learn about it. I didn't want to spend a lot of money. I didn't know what it was and how it was. I didn't just jump in, right? My first certificate I got was my CSPO, my Certified Scrum Product Owner cert. And the reason being, as when I was a project manager, I said, I get making stuff. I get the process. I'm pretty much doing it. What the biggest problem I always had was getting my requirements lined up, or backlog, or work from the customer, and working with the product owner. I get the dynamics of working with the team. Where I wanted more training in, my first thing I wanted more training in was how to help the business side flush out their stuff and what they wanted to do. So my challenge to you as Scrum Masters, if you already got a CSM or you got a Scrum Master certificate, go take a class or two on product owner, how to be a product owner, because it's going to help you be a better Scrum Master. It's going to help you be a better Agile coach. Some people might say, all certificate, blah, 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 blah. Here's my thought. It's nice that I get a certificate for it, but I want to know that you or I have trained in new things, learned new skills. Sometimes I search just like, hey, I went to a class. I learned new ways, new techniques to do some things that I can help apply and bring back to my team. That is fine. I'm okay with that. People who refuse to take classes because, oh, I am anti-cert and I don't need a cert. Like, that's the wrong attitude, right? You should be going and learning from your fellow people in your field. And if they offer a cert for it, you get a cert for it, great. But that's how you keep ahead of the game, and that's how you learn things. So I want to challenge you for 2020 and dreaming big. Go get a cert in being a product owner, certified product owner. Just don't take a test to say, I know something and I got a test to verify. No. Take a class. Work with other people who are being put into the product owner role. Learn what their issues are. And when you take the class in person, you get to hear what their issues are, what they're having troubles with, what they're going through. And that is almost more valuable than the material they teach you in the class. So that I want to say, you should go get some training. Encourage all your product owners to go for a CSPO training class. To get some more training on how to do it. There's a lot more things in her video, which I also agree with, like how a product owner is. I mean, love the job postings and ask for a product owner. Well, shouldn't a product owner know the product? That's, before you become a product owner, you should really know the product. And I love the job posting out there for a product owner. I'm like, but why are you hiring outside? How does an outside person know your product better than anybody on the inside and what it sells? It doesn't compute in my brain. It's just one of those things. I go, what? Right? I want someone who's a product owner that understands their product and what it's supposed to do and understands the customer. That's what the product owner is supposed to do. I can teach anybody how to split stories and split requirements. We can hire a BA to help you write that stuff down. That's no big deal, right? Um, it's not really that complicated. You just got to think that way. You got to teach them how to think, and once they figure it out, it does take a little thinking. It's not that easy, but it's not hard. But anyway, go get a CSPO cert if you are a Scrum Master, if you don't already have one. Okay, so there's my product owner spiel. But I really mean it too. You should do it. I was like, that's my first legit in this type of field certificate. It wasn't Scrum Master, by the way. Okay, tasking. Somebody told me something the other day, and I go, yeah, that wasn't me. And they were talking about not tasking at all. And I think people lose the idea of tasking. I think people tasking is not something that you have to lay out all the detailed information on how to do work. It can be if you want. If you need that much detail, you're new to what you're doing, and there maybe needs to be more detailed, granular information tasking. By all means, go for it. But I only say two things when I task out stories. It's only two words, dev and test. Because here's the thing. Whoever's testing it should be the one who developed it, and whoever's testing it, vice versa, right? So you want somebody else to test the work or to make sure it's working, not the person who actually did the work, because you won't pick up on stuff. Because when you write something, you're blind to what you wrote. It's in your mind. It works. When somebody else does it, they don't have those preconceived notions. So it's good. So in the systems, why you task it? So the people know who's got to do what or who's doing what where. Another reason why you task things out. Let's say you're working on a story and there's multiple tasks or multiple things. In a lean environment, you don't want people accidentally working on the same stuff. And it's a complaint I have at my office all the time, because people out there will send emails to multiple people at the same time asking for something. And when I get that stuff, I'll be honest with you, I'm really bad. Sometimes I ignore it. I'm like, I'll email them back. I said, did somebody get back to you on this? Because you sent I legitimately told them, I told somebody the other day, you sent this out to like 4 or 5 people, right? Did you get an answer back? And if they said no, I'll say, okay, I'll work on it now for you. Just so you know, I'm working on it. Because when you send it out to 4 or 5 people, it's very non-lean thinking. You should ask somebody, can somebody take this on who would like to take on, so they can reply back. And this is like daily Scrum. I need some help with this. Somebody in the group will chime in that they do it. You can do a Mattermost, email, whatever you want to do. You can do it Skype, where everybody knows that somebody took it. By sending these emails out to everybody, no one knows. So anyway, so tasking. So the other purpose behind tasking is that so no 2 people are working on the same work at the same time, right? By tasking out, everybody in the group kind of knows who's doing what, and you assign it, or they in the system is called assigning. Please do not take to heart when I say you're not supposed to assign, is that's the title in the field. Okay? Can we go with that? Whoever wrote the software original was not an Agile and Scrum. They said assignee. You can say volunteer. Depends what kind of volunteer. Forced volunteer? I don't know. But whoever's working the activity, an assignee's fine. So I assign it to myself. I got it. And that's fine. So if anybody out there in the grammar, please go, we don't assign work in Scrum. Fine. But the title on the field is called assignee. So we're going to go with it. But again, the idea is that people don't work the same thing. It can help people walk through the process they need to do. It helps other members of the team understand how you're progressing. It helps yourself know how you're progressing. Like if you have some tasks that you think will take a day or two and you lay it out, you know where you finished when you go home. You can sleep at night. So you talked about making that list, right? So that list we talked about what you're going to do next day is your task list, right? If you already have it tasked out and you kind of know what you're going to do and where you stand, unless you think of more tasks, you'll sleep better at night. So it goes back to the other episode where we talk about making a list every night. So if you have a list of tasks associated with the work you're going to do, and you take all that stress out when you do sprint planning, It makes your week so much nicer and easier because you just go through the tasks you got to do. Now, you may say, hey, there's a new task. And that's up to you whether or not you want to write that task into the story. There's something else you didn't think of that needed to be done to finish the story. That's fine. And that's perfectly legit. So you can do that. It's not like when the tasks are assigned in sprint planning, no one can add another task because that's what we said. And you should be punished by the punish police if you write more tasks in your sprint planning after sprint planning day. I know I was kind of goofy on that, wasn't I? But sometimes people talk like that and they vary it. It's not exactly like it is and it's not perfect, then you will be punished. No. And if anybody does that, one, please create the meme and send it to me. And send it my way because I'll laugh. um, I just, when people too, it's not exactly, and you need to know exactly what to do. I'm like, really? How much money you get paid, and then you need to know exactly what to do. I'm like, really? Jeez. You need a high school diploma like my great grandmother. Makes you wonder what those things are worth anymore. Anyway, that's what we're going to talk about. I went off on a tangent, and we're over the 15-minute mark. I just want to say, happy scrumming. Enjoy. Don't stress it out, and go looking about being a CSPO. Take a class. It's a new year. Take something new. Find some new techniques. Meet some new people. Meet people who think differently than you do as a Scrum Master, and think more on the product owner side, and help your product owner. It's a twofold job: help the team and help the business. Right? That's what Scrum Masters do. So with that, thumbs up. Ring the little bell. Get subscribed. I got a lot of people that are joining up. I appreciate it very much. Thank you all for subscribing, and let's just keep up the pace, keep up the growth, and share with your friends, and give me feedback. All right, take care. Bye. I'm gonna end it and say goodbye. I hit the end button twice. Double click, lean.